Hey guys, this girl got game. Welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon for the last route. Waltz. The small, for now. I wonder how long he'll stay small. When he gets big, hubba hubba. But for now, he's still cute. He's still a cutie guy. I thought I'd start back when we first met him, which was forever ago. And he was so sad because we didn't recognize the lilies he made for us. Just to refresh a little bit before we get into his route in earnest. So, we're with our sister. Oh, Lucette, look! A street performance! It's been so long since I last watched one. Street performance? Yeah, this handsome devil.
Good day, everyone. My name is Waltz, and I'm here to spread some happiness and magic.
The boy named Waltz snaps his fingers, and colorful flower petals start to rain down from the sky. Ooh. Isn't that pretty, Lucette?
And are those the princesses over there? It is an honor to have you in attendance. Please accept this humble gift.
He snaps his fingers and white lilies appear in his hand. I cannot wait to know what the details are behind our relationship, man. Aww. Oh, thank you. The boy looks at me as if expecting some kind of reaction. When he gets nothing from me, he sighs and gives me a wry smile.
Huh. I hope to see you again during my next show.
We'll definitely try. He gracefully bows before moving back into his area to perform more magic tricks for a gathering crowd. And on that note, well, let's see if we say anything more about him before we skip. There are performers like this all around Angielle. I love them. Maybe someday we'll get to see some musicians too. Those are my favorite. I did not intend to leave the palace again. But you don't like it out here? Okay, I think we're just gonna continue on. We'll just skip to the next choice. Because I can finally do something I've wanted to do since the very beginning, basically. Which is pick a different option here, but I didn't want to because I figured we'll run into Waltz. Let's see if I'm right when I go right. It's him!
Hey, this way.
You're...
No time to talk, princess.
How do you know who I am?
There's another one. Stop running, you two. Come on.
The boy grabs my wrist and pulls me after him. He takes off with a sudden burst of speed, and then I am running even faster than I just was. I am not entirely convinced following him is a good idea, but at least the boy seems to have a better sense of direction than me. Oh! Our running causes rocks in the pathway to come loose, and before I notice them in my path, I step down hard on them. Ow! A sharp pain shoots up into my foot, and I collapse to the ground. It hurts.
Princess!
I try to stand, but the pain in my feet is unbearable. I fall back down into the dirt with a gasp. I can't.
We've got you now. Just hand over your coins and neither of you will get hurt. I won't let you touch her. Ha, says little boy. Well, well, well.
Claude, my love.
What is this ghastly sight before me? Two adults threatening a child and a lady. How very ungentlemanly. What are the likes of you even doing around this neighborhood? You asking to get fleeced? Asking? Perhaps I am in the mood for a scuffle.
Hey, there he is! Look at that sweet guyliner, though. My goodness, boy. The nobleman brandishes his sword, his expression confident, maybe even cocky.
Show me what you've got, sirs. And please, don't bore me.
Who are these people? Seriously, though.
I ain't dealing with this for the money. He's got a sword. What? Come back here, you coward. The two of us can take him. I think your friend has the right idea. I'm not the type to show mercy. Ugh. This is way too much trouble for a little gold. You're late. Sorry, kid. You know how hard it is for me to be invisible around here. Wait, what did you just call me? At ease, small one.
These two know each other? Very much so. I guess I'll fast forward. Oh. He responded first this time, I guess.
Hey, Princess. Princess! Calm down. Parfait will be able to help her. But for now, we need to move, before anyone else sees us. Yeah.
Oh, look at that green crystal!
Don't worry. You're safe now.
I didn't know the fast forward thing would stop on things that I hadn't read yet. Wish I had known that earlier. Okay, we don't have to do the questions again. This is fine. 3 good deeds. I got my life back in order. This is how you truly feel, Rod. Rod! I'm going to throw the tray at you, because it's always fun. Don't get any ideas, though, boo. There we go. Whom should I ask for help? The guy at the very top of the tree. He was just here earlier. Maybe he went back inside. What are these bubbles I'm seeing? I stop and stare at the small orbs of light floating around the room. What is going on?
Aw, no, this isn't it.
I watch in awe as Waltz snaps his fingers and all the orbs disappear with a pop.
Oh, Princess.
What are you doing?
Practicing my next magic trick. I still haven't perfected it.
How come you are able to use magic? Are you a witch? A fairy?
A good magician never reveals his secrets.
Right.
Did you need anything?
Can you teach me about goodness? His face.
Huh?
Why do you look so surprised?
Well, it's just that I didn't think you'd come to me for help.
If you don't want to...
No, that's not it at all. I'm happy you asked me. What would you like to know about goodness?
How do you do a good deed?
That is a very broad question. I don't think I can give you a specific example.
Then how do I do good?
The easiest way to do good is to make someone happy.
So a good deed would involve making someone happy. How do I do that? She didn't scoff and scorn at it for the first time ever in history. Waltz, you have a special connection with her. Waltz. I find Waltz sitting in the corner of the tavern reading a book. You didn't strike me as the kind of person that would read books.
I'm going to take that as a compliment. Though to be honest, I wouldn't be reading this if I wasn't preparing for one of my shows.
Shows?
I don't just do magic shows. I perform puppet shows as well. I have to be familiar with several bedtime stories for those. You should come with me sometime. The children are always so happy at the shows. You might get one of your good deeds helping out.
I have never been around children for extended amounts of time.
You've got to be patient, too. Children can be difficult to handle.
You speak as if you aren't a child yourself.
That's because I'm not a child.
Waltz hates it when he's treated like a child. Well, I can't blame him. Especially when Karma teases him about it.
Besides, patience isn't just for children. It's necessary in a lot of situations. I would guess you might need to work on that.
Excuse me? Walt shrugs and with an awkward smile returns to his book. Nothing. You want to say something? You want to say something to my face, Mr. Waltz? The hat? The secret hat? There he is. Part of his big form. Peter Pan. An appropriate start to his route. I decide that I cannot waste any more time. The next day, I search for Waltz as soon as the broom stops dragging me around. I swear he was just here a while ago. Anise, have you seen Waltz? Oh, I just saw him walk back inside. Oh. I find him talking with Parfait and Delora in the reception area. Delora, you're alive. I'm so happy to see you. And you too, of course, Parfait. All of them are speaking in solemn whispers. As soon as Parfait and Delora notice me, they break off their conversation with Waltz. Both the witch and the fairy step away from Waltz. Excuse us, princess. I watch curiously as Delora and Parfait leave the room without another word to me. What were they talking about? Waltz turns in my direction and smiles. Morning, princess. I turn toward Waltz and watch as he begins to put some puppets on the table into a box. Are these toys yours? These? They're for a show I'm doing later. I wouldn't be playing with these things at my age. You look 12. I do not see how that is too old to be playing with dolls. Judging. Hashtag judging. I told you before, didn't I? I have the Neverland curse. He never explained what his curse was. I'm actually older than you are. I find that hard to believe. You don't know the story of Peter Pan, do you? It is not my fault that Mother had all the fairy tales removed from the palace. When I do not answer, Waltz only sighs and gives me a small smile. Huh. I'll assume that's a yes. Peter Pan is a boy who lives in Neverland. It's a place where no one ever grows up. I'm stuck in a child's body as a result of my curse. I won't revert to my real form until my curse is broken. Then how old are you really? I'm 22 this year. Aw, stop. What? I can only stare in shock at Waltz's childish appearance. It is hard to believe that he is actually older than I am. I've never liked being treated as a child. That's never changed. Even when I was a child, I didn't like it. It makes sense now why her mom cursed him with this, because it's like a double curse in his case. You will be a child forever, and you hate it. But let me assure you that it is much more annoying being treated like a child by someone who's younger than you. Waltz straightens with the box in his arms. Now, if my princess will excuse me. He turns to leave. Where are you going? I have a show to do today. Waltz does so many puppet and magic shows. How will he help me break my curse if he is never around? I'll go with you. What? I might accomplish a good deed if I come to one of your shows. That's true, but... I'm not sure it's a good idea. There are bad witches out there. Oh? There's an evil witch right here in the Marchen, but no one is protecting me from her. Are you talking about Delora? Who else would I be referring to? Waltz stares at me for a long moment, eyes thoughtful. He sets the box down on the table again. Don't go anywhere. I'll ask Lady Parfait first. He leaves the room. I lean over the box on the table and see a pile of carefully detailed puppets. Everything looks handmade. I used to sew my own puppets before Mother found out and forbade me from making them. She told me that sewing was not something a crown princess should do. Aww. Interested? Ugh. Waltz's footsteps are so soft that I do not even notice that he has returned to the room until I see him standing before me. I step away from the box. How does he move so quietly? Permission granted. Come on, the show starts in an hour. Cool. I watch as Waltz sets up a small booth on the street where I'd first seen him with Emmeline. Back then, I never thought I would see him again. It's nice to see you actively trying to break your curse. I'm not convinced this will work, but Parfait said that if I partnered up with someone, I might be able to break my curse faster. So you chose to partner with me? His tone of voice startles me. He sounds both happy and sad. Was he lying when he said he wanted to help me? That everyone in the Marchen was willing to help me? Would you rather I pick someone else?
No.
I jump at his sudden reaction. Waltz awkwardly clears his voice.
No, I'll do everything I can to help you.
Okay. Waltz heads for the back of the booth. I begin to follow him, but I'm forced to stop when he holds out his hand.
You haven't had enough training to be my personal assistant yet, Princess.
What? I stare at him puzzled. I never said I wanted to be your personal assistant. And training? Why would one need training to assist with a children's show?
You might just be able to snag a good deed if you agree to become my assistant, you know.
There's a teasing twinkle in Waltz's eyes as he waves me off.
But until you're ready, you should stay with the children and just watch the show. I think you'll enjoy this story. I recommend getting a place up front. You'll be able to see all the action that way.
When I do not move, Waltz sighs and smiles at me.
Huh. I promise the children won't bite you unless you bite them first.
Fine.
That's my star.
My star! Stop! You're already melting my heart.
You mean the Neverland Star?
Star? He disappears around the back, leaving me alone. In no time at all, people begin to gather. Soon there is an impressive audience around Waltz's small booth. I look at the group of children that are clustered as close as possible to the front. They are all clearly excited for the show to start. I used to do puppet shows with my dolls too. I felt less alone when I pretended my dolls could talk. And I am still alone. Nothing has changed. I sidestep to allow someone else to stand beside me. I'm surprised to see that the person is an adult. I look out at the gathering crowd of people and find that there is an almost equal ratio of children and adults. Why would adults be at something as childish as a puppet show?
Hello, everyone.
An excited silence falls over the area as Waltz's voice rises above the crowd.
I, Waltz, am here once again to share another story with you. I hope you enjoy the show. Once upon a time, there was a village whose people were always happy.
Dream music? I have never heard this outside of Dreamland.
But one day, an evil witch found the village. The evil witch carried darkness deep in her heart. She was jealous of the townsfolk, who were filled with so much light and happiness. If I cannot be happy, the evil witch said, then no one can be happy.
How overly dramatic. I almost jump when I feel a tug on my dress. I look down to see a little boy pulling at the hem of my skirt, though his eyes remain focused on the puppets. Aw, hey, it's that kid again.
I don't like her. That witch, she's bad.
His grip on my skirt tightens. He is wrinkling my dress. I don't know what to do. I mean, Lucette being Lucette would remove his hand, but is that going to cause a ruckus? We'll play as Lucette. If things go awry, we can reload. I reach down to pry the boy's hand off of my skirt, but the boy moves faster than me. The moment I pull his hand away, he quickly refastens his grip, this time around my hand. Hey. The boy does not move his hand. In fact, his hold only tightens, so much so that I find it impossible to pull my hand away. There's no way I can make him let go without causing a scene. Okay, at least you weren't making a scene the first time. Now I'm going to be stuck holding the hand of a little boy I do not know until the end of the show. That's a good deed. How did this happen?
Darkness spread over the village. The people began to suffer. They forgot what happiness felt like. One villager decided to leave and find a good witch that would help save everyone from the evil witch. This villager knew it would be very dangerous, for if he were discovered, the evil witch would certainly kill him and his family. But the man knew he had to try if he ever wanted to see the other villagers smile again. Many days later, the man finally returned with a good witch, whose heart was as filled with light as the evil witch's was filled with darkness. The good witch, unable to bear the sight of the villagers' suffering, decided to help them. She cast a powerful spell that would send the evil witch away and save the village at the cost of her own life. Once the spell was cast, the darkness disappeared from the village. To this day, the people of the village are said to carry the good witch's light within them, and everyone lived happily ever after.
Woo! I was gonna say, I'm surprised he used a witch instead of a fairy. Is that particular part of the tale true?
But aren't all witches evil?
That's simply not true. I've met a good witch, one with a heart more light and loving than any fairies.
More of the children begin to ask questions. I'm unable to do anything except wait while Waltz is bombarded with questions.
Thank you.
The boy that took my hand gives it one last squeeze before running off to join his friends. You're too cute. What did he thank me for? Once the audience finally leaves, Waltz comes out from behind the booth and smiles up at me.
The show was a success. Princess?
There was a boy. He thanked me even though I did nothing for him.
The little boy who was with you. But you did do something. You held his hand.
I did not want to.
I realized that when I saw the annoyed look on your face. It would have been good of you to do it if you'd meant to calm him down.
What?
That boy was really frightened by the evil witch in the show.
Hey, it worked!
He thanked you because you held his hand and stayed with him when he was scared. Sometimes just having someone beside you when you're afraid is enough.
Having someone beside you? I think back on all the times I felt scared. Mother always told me to hide my fear, and to never cry because it made me appear weak. I could never ask for her help, and the king was never there for me. Every time I was afraid, I was always alone. I shake off the memories and realize that Waltz is asking me a question.
What did you think of the show?
It was short and simple.
That's it. I created that entire show, you know. Story, characters, everything.
It could have been better. Get hecked, Waltz.
You wound me.
I have nothing more to say, and Waltz seems disheartened by my silence. Oh no! You're breaking my heart, Waltz, with this line.
You always complimented my stories, even when they were silly.
Waltz telling me stories? I did not recall such a thing. He makes it sound as if we've known each other for a long time. Before I can ask him for clarification, darn it, he changes the topic.
Do you mind accompanying me to the toy shop before we head back?
Do I have a choice? Waltz's lips quirk with a smile as he picks up his materials.
You might have fun, Princess. Come on.
Back to Viorica's shop. I haven't seen Viorica in forever. This is the shop I went to before I was cursed.
Feel free to look around, Princess. I won't be too long.
I nod at him before walking over to the doll display. The dolls here are actually beautiful. But with the gold I have left, I wouldn't be able to afford even one. I miss my dolls.
Papa, I want that one!
The sound of a little girl's voice draws my attention. Oh, hello. Weren't you the one that fell in love with Claude and another root? I look around the store before spotting a little girl pointing at a big teddy bear. She looks expectantly at the man beside her. That must be her father. The man shakes his head, his eyes filled with regret.
We can't afford that one, dear. Could you choose something else?
The girl looks like she's on the verge of bawling. I back away, fearing that the child might throw a tantrum. Instead, she rubs at her eyes before looking up at her father with a slow smile.
I understand.
The man smiles and pats her head.
Thank you for understanding, sweetheart. You're being so grown up.
I only need you and Mama to be happy. I love you, Papa.
I love you too.
The king has never once told me that he loved me. He must be better off without me. Do I even belong in the palace anymore?
Papa, look! The king!
The moment I hear her say his title, I quickly rush from the toy shop. Girl, you're gonna give Waltz a heart attack.
Hail the king!
Long live the queen! King, I mean. Hail King Gennaro! He is the first one I see, mounted on his favorite white stallion as he waves at everyone. I spot Ophelia, Rod, and Emmeline with him, mimicking his motions. The king used to invite me to join him before, but I always declined. He always went out alone. Once a month, the king sets out to check up on the conditions of the kingdom in person. It is his way of bonding with the townsfolk. The Order of Caldera trails behind the royal family, with Sir Alcaster at the head. But there is one particular person that is missing. Fritz Farg. It is strange that Fritz isn't here. The parade is an impressive sight. The crowds lining the streets become denser with each passing second. I weave around the mess of people in an attempt to get closer to the king.
Thank you, everyone.
He is smiling. A true smile. I've never seen him smile like that at me. Ah, Lucette. A heaviness begins to weigh down my heart. Suddenly it becomes harder to breathe. Please look this way. Please look at me. Ah.
The king is looking happier these days, isn't he?
I don't think I've ever seen him so joyful. It must be his family.
Happier? Ah. All I want is for the king to look at me, to see me. But he does not so much as glance my way once. I stare at the ground with bleary eyes. He's happy without me. Oh, Lucette. I return to the toy shop with a heavy heart. The little girl from earlier is standing with her father by the door. He ruffles her hair before holding his hand out to her with a smile. She takes it with a giggle and the two walk off together. A hot ache sings through my blood as I watch them leave. Is this jealousy? I reach up and clutch at my chest. My heartbeats feel painful. This is a terrible feeling.
Princess? Lucette?
I stare at Waltz, temporarily stunned by the fact that he called me by my name and not my title.
Are you okay?
Despite myself, I find my eyes drawn back to the little girl and her father as they stand just outside the door to the toy shop.
Princess?
I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. Waltz, don't worry about it.
You don't look fine to me at all.
Out of the corner of my eye, I see the little girl and her father as they disappear into the crowd outside the toy shop. I am.
You still act tough, even though you're hurting inside.
I am not...
Here.
A hanky?
What is this for? In case you suddenly feel like crying.
I am not going to cry. I am not that weak. Waltz frowns when I do not take the handkerchief from him. He puts it back into his pocket with a shake of his head. Hey! Yeah, you gotta fix her, man.
Crying doesn't make you weak, Princess.
Waltz's gaze moves to the set of teddy bears displayed on one of the shelves. He's quiet for a few moments before he speaks.
He's affected by the curse.
What?
The king. He can't remember you because of the curse. That doesn't mean he never cared about you. That's the reason you look so down, right? I was looking outside. I saw the way you looked at him.
Doesn't he know that it's rude to stare? Oh? And how did I look?
Hurt.
I turn away before Waltz can see the frustration on my face.
He loves you, you know. More than you'll ever know.
And how would you know that? You don't know him at all.
Everyone has their own ways of expressing their love. I'm sure he has his own ways.
By not being there when I needed him? He has never acted like a father to me. princess. Don't pretend to know what my life at the palace was like, Waltz. This conversation is over. Let us return to the Marchen. But I know, though.
Look at what I drew!
Lucette, you know you're not meant to be in here.
Aw, she drew a picture of the family. Look, it's so cute!
But I drew this picture of us! See? That is Mother and me! And you're holding Mother's hand!
Go play somewhere else, Lucette. I'm busy.
But you're always busy, Father. I just want to...
Go to your mother. I'm sure she is looking for you.